Hey everyone, last time I stopped at 10 Stonehearts Preservation, which was a part of the IPC. I was really surprised that the IPC was so thoroughly explained. There were a bit of problems with some of the sentences I noticed, so I hope that doesn't happen too often. It kind of threw me off. Next part is the swarm propagation. I'll read all of the leftover ones, promise, in this video, of the factions in the databank. The swarm I've come across in the universe that you can go into, but I also heard about it a bit more up, where it was like it becomes a swarm that eats itself or something like that. Either way, the swarm propagation. Life is born of an instinctive desire to reproduce, and the senses and spirit are only unintended byproducts created when carrying out the basic instinct of reproduction. Those who don't submit to their primal desire claim to be wise, unaware that they are already considered food for the offspring of Taizironth, the Aeon of Propagation, the father of the swarm. That's where I remember him from. He's from the Aeon list that I read. The multitudes of the Swarm King's offspring can cover the starry night, their antennae long enough to measure the cosmos. Worlds fearfully called to self-replicated chaos as the Swarm. Spirit, soul, technology, philosophy. In the thousands compound eyes of Taizironth, the universal laws pursued by all intelligent races are but a side effect of the ultimate goal of reproduction. The Swarm doesn't seek a following by higher races, for worship itself is an unnecessary desire. Only the flying creatures that succumb to the primal instinct will be attracted to the self-replicating primordial tide, transforming to be part of the swarm after becoming its food. Even without their god, the swarm continues expanding at an incalculable rate, bringing fear and disaster to worlds chosen as their nests. Garden of Recollection, Remembrance. To think is to exist, and memories are proof of that. All things that make up the material world will eventually perish, but they can live on in another way, through remembrance. Contrary to popular belief that memory is mixed with the imaginary, memo keepers from the Garden of Recollection believe reality and imagination to be a myth. What is absolutely real and immortal in the universe that is constantly reincarnating? Even stars die and black holes evaporate. On a cosmic scale, they vanish in a breath. In this flood of time and life, the only treasure is the memory that proves the existence of people. Memo keepers from the Garden of Recollection are dedicated to preserving and sharing memories, enlightened by their master fully. Memo keepers shed their mortal flesh and live on as mimetic entities. With this unique gift, they can freely traverse between worlds, unconstrained by physical limits. Memo keepers often disguise themselves as natives of the world they visit. They trade, copy, steal, deceive, using every means necessary to collect precious memories. The Cremators. Remembrance. In the Garden of Recollection, where memories of the universe are sought and kept, hides a group of extreme memo keepers, who view the marks of existence differently. Instead of treasuring all that has taken place like their colleagues, they believe that there are different qualities and priorities of memories in the world, and that the pure land created by Fully should not be taken up by worthless memories. The Cremators believe that they bear the sacred duty of filtering memories for the aeons. They steal the stored memories that memo keepers have gathered and rank them in order of importance. The ones that they deem worthy are returned to the collection, whereas the ones arbitrarily deemed unworthy are completely destroyed, never to be found again. The Cremators claim that they are cleaning out the garbage, all in hopes of relieving some of Fully's burden and contributing to the glorious sacred grounds of remembrance. However, the Garden of Recollection scoffed and saw no reason for their actions, for the smallest shard of memory in the universe holds just as great of importance as the grandest of feats. No mortal has the right to judge the value of any piece of memory. Mourning actors, elation. Mourning actors are firm believers against elation. They believe life is full of ups and downs, that agony makes people mature, but fleeting joy only offers hopeless and unreachable temptation. Cheap entertainment is a narcotic for humans to lose themselves in. All beings should renounce joy and endure grief to temper their spirits. To this end, these people formed a theater troupe of sorrow. The actors ride a gondola that spans the stars to perform. They collect and wear masks from different worlds, symbolizing the races that have passed and those that have not. At the same time, they record the sorrows of intelligent life. They compose magnificent tragedies for heroes facing their end, and sing graceful elegies for dying stars. Mourning actors advocate celibacy and penance, hoping this would go against the path of elation and dilute the sweet allure that the elation has been able to provide to the universe. However, joy and sadness are two sides of the same coin. Their very essence is engraved into the souls of all beings. The Aeon of Elation sees the potential strength in the beauty of tragedy. Perhaps out of fondness for their wicked sense of humor, Aha blessed these people with aeonic powers, playfully helping them spread their renunciation of joy across many star systems. Masked Fools, Elation. The masked fools tell a parable of the birth of their beloved Aeon. When the Aeon of Elation climbed to the highest branch on the tree of existence, they saw the cold and despicable void, the stars operating like machinery, and how the meaning of all things bows before nothingness. They continued looking until they saw a baby fall to the ground and cry because it had been wronged. The Aeon burst into laughter so clear it tore through the cold universe and still reverberates through the universe today. The fools believe that the truth of the world is a joke and that the ultimate meaning of all things lies in mere laughter. The universe is merciless, but there is joy to eliminate pain, dilute sorrow, resist nihilism, and heal wounds. Laughter, the gift of intelligent races, is the only answer. Masked fools are extremely radical when it comes to their beliefs among the followers of Elation. In their pursuit of pleasure, they do whatever it takes to find it, even causing havoc wherever they go. They laugh at heroes for self-righteousness, kings for their lust of power, lovers for their infatuation, and scholars for their overthinking. The fool's objective is to stir the stagnant pool of life to create surges and change, because change is a source of mockery and amusement to the fools. It would be a welcome sight if someone could turn the tables on them. Mirror holders, beauty. The legend of the mirror holders had it that the downfall of the god of beauty was an ancient metaphor symbolizing the shattering of people's views on beauty, crumbling like a collapsed tower into rubble and bricks. Therefore, the goal of the mirror holders takes on another significance. When conceptions of beauty are reunified, all disputes and strife will disappear. They believe the Aeon they worship will be perfect and complete again, and the universe will become whole. This may not be a mere delusion, as the mirror holders possess a series of items named Mirrors of Transcendence. These mirrors do not reflect the material world, but instead reflect what is considered by the beholder as beauty and project that into reality. As the mirror holders recounted themselves, these mirrors were fragments of Idrilda's divine form. When the god of beauty died, their fragments were scattered to the cosmos. The wandering mirror holders tried their best to find clues and recapture these fragments, hoping to one day piece everything back together and let beauty return to the world. The Knights of Beauty. Beauty, of course. Among the legions of Idrila's followers, the most infatuated with classical beauty formed the Knights of Beauty. They ride their faithful and dexterous mounts and chant ancient beautiful songs as they fearlessly travel from planet to planet, extolling the name of Idrila to the beings of the universe. The Knights of Beauty are extremely self-disciplined. They stubbornly abide by an obsolete creed known as the Code of Chivalry, believing that only through a perfectly refined body, mind, and spirit can they become truly worthy of worshipping Idrila. Despite their extraordinary strength, the major factions of the cosmos hold the Knights of Beauty in low regard. Warriors with only worship but little faith are but wastrels, traversing the universe, wastrels, and cannot form a powerful force. Rumor has it that the Knights of Beauty do not believe in the fall of Idrila. They shuttle back and forth across the universe, their source of power still a mystery. History fictionologists, Enigmata. There is evidence that history fictionologists are a group of emanators that were enlightened by aeons. They often plunge into the sea of stars alone, traveling planet to planet with the sole purpose of fabricating, obscuring, destroying, and erasing the local history. History fictionologists believe that the past determines the future. When a civilization's history is definite, its future development is doomed as all possibilities are eliminated. leaving only a sad and rigid path forward. In order to save these worlds from the sad fate of objectivity, history fictionologists consider enigmata as their only creed and are determined to shroud the universe in mystery. History fictionologists carry out their mission of destroying history alone and decisively, with an altruism that is difficult to comprehend. Their views are poorly understood by most, and their blatant hatred of objective facts is somewhat extreme. Many worlds are beginning to realize the irreversible, intangible damage that these emanators of enigmata have caused to culture. Across the cosmos, history fictionologists have a reputation comparable to that of the Antimatter Legion. The Intelligentsia Guild has publicly denounced them. The Antimatter Legion destroys matter, but the history fictionologists destroy the very universe itself. Underneath it says, record stamp. In view of the fact that this entry has been edited with unknown attribution, it is hereby declared that this entry is inapplicable to any reference and will no longer be updated, aka, the history fictionologists have tampered with this text. The Riddlers, Enigmata. Enigmata has a large number of followers. With the Riddlers being a prominent group, they were once Palace Hall poets, chiaroscuro painters, masters of disguise, or occult monks. While having reached great heights in their respective fields, after coming into contact with the Aeons, they turned into an incomprehensible group of people who spouted ridiculousness and wrote falsehoods. Where the history fictionologists are devoted to the mystification of history, the Riddlers are obsessed with destroying the certainty of language. Words used to express meaning are gradually obfuscated in the mouths of the Riddlers. They deconstruct texts, abuse metaphors, change word orders, tamper with semantics, and transform an otherwise precise language into something beyond recognition. While the Riddlers are not as prominent as the history fictionologists, their actions still have a subtle yet huge impact on the universe. Why is it so hard to find a pure and precise language in the cosmos these days? That is another Riddler left by the Riddlers. Another riddle left by the Riddlers, sorry. The Arbitrators, Equilibrium. At the beginning of life, the weight of existence was placed upon the scales, and the burgeoning of life energy instantly tilted the balance of the universe, but the patience of equilibrium is unfathomable. Given enough time, existence and nothingness are destined to attain perfect balance once more, and the balance of universal precepts must be respected. The arbitrators admired Ho's ideas, praising their eternal focus and patience. But universal laws have no control over time and space, and mortals can only pursue the beauty of equilibrium in a secular world by the elimination of radical extremes, beauty and ugliness, joy and sorrow, good and evil, love and hatred. Countless opposing concepts were created and interpreted to satisfy the arbitrators' obsession with a zero-sum universe. But the rules of mortals are always riddled with flaws. Out of desperation, the arbitrators were constantly forced over the inexplorable passage of time to patch up these past fallacies and mistakes, forever shifting the hopes of equilibrium onto the next patch. Ho watches on in silence, knowing that the restoration of order could never be shaken in the slightest by such vulgar mortal drama. Claret Wheel Temple, Equilibrium. During the long and drawn-out denizens of Abundance Wars, a group of Borisin grew weary of the endless conquest and slaughter. They believed that the universe's suffering was born of an imbalance between abundance and the hunt. Ever since Yaoshi ascended to divinity, the influence of abundance expanded by the day, causing the balance of life cycle to be shaken. They believe that the birth of the hunt is an inevitable necessity driven forth by this imbalance. So these Borisin abandoned their faith and their war pacts to establish the Claret Wheel Temple. Claret Wheel Temple is a temple complex floating in the universe. They would appear during any war related to the denizens of the abundance, collecting the remains of the deceased and delivering their souls to the eternal beyond. Some war orphans taken away by them would go on to become Claret Wheel Temple monks and devote themselves to continuing this cause. The monks of Claret Wheel Temple also regard Ho, the Equilibrium, as a great forerunner instead of a god who guides the people of this world. The monks always maintained some distance from the concept of aeons in their teachings. As the Claret Wheel Temple's fate was born from the cracks between abundance and the hunt, the temple believes that aeons, as being the extremes of a singular concept, will surely push the universe into the abyss of imbalance. After 3 amber eras of peaceful activity, the Claret Wheel Temple monks have included enlightened practitioners of many different races, although the Boresin still constituted the absolute majority. It did not matter if one were a citizen of Janzo, a wing weaver, a Hoin, or an Intellitron. So long as one wishes to bring this ceaseless cycle of war and bloodshed to an end, one could become an ordained monk of Claret Wheel Temple. The monks of Claret Wheel Temple are required to wear a claret wheel ring, as a symbol of their vow to abide by the 5 major precepts: to do no harm, no deception, no greed, no anger, and no indulgence. However, the esteemed monks who had mastered these teachings no longer wear such rings. The rings are already engraved into their hearts. Beyond the Sky Choir, Order. The Beyond the Sky Choir believes that the world's origin emanated from the resounding harmony of Ena the Order. Through their utterance, creations materialized, each bearing its unique symbol, preserving their existence against corrosion. Subsequently, these discrete syllables intertwined, forming a rhythmic tapestry of passages that chronicled the rise and fall of cities, empires, and civilizations. Ultimately, they converged into a grand symphony of time. In the era preceding Ena's fall, celestial signs often graced the vast expanse. It was a jubilant chorus that resounded whenever a grand spectacle was established in a distant realm. Believers from all realms would perceive the sound, drawing inspiration from the spectacle and composing new hymns. As a result, the reverberations of Ena's harmonious melodies spread throughout the universe, quelling calamities and fostering unity and prosperity in the name of the Order. The chant of the Beyond the Sky Choir is believed to represent Ena's voice. However, with their demise, their voice merges into the harmonious music, vanishing without a trace. Nevertheless, this interpretation is not entirely accurate. There are indications that the echoes of the past have become discordant notes, attempting to break free from the unified harmony and resuming the chant of the Order. The Creed Exequi. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it. Creed Exequi is made up of followers of Terminus, scattered across the various corners of the universe. With regard to the finality, many refuse to speak of their existence, blinding themselves to the fact that they symbolize the end of the universe. However, there are intelligent lifeforms who sincerely believe that this aeon, which moves across the flow of time, is the ticking countdown to the universe's end and the reminder of all meanings of existence. Before the destined exequi comes, those who breathe, ignorant of impending ruin, ought to live every second of their life to the fullest. To that end, the Creed Exequi, I really don't know how to pronounce it. To that end, they walk in the opposite direction of those trying to flee from the apocalypse. This faction adores the apocalypse and the ruin it brings and yearns to witness its arrival. There they shall welcome their only encounter with the finality. Like, a lot of these have related entries that you can see at the bottom. You can also click them. They will guide you to the previous thing. But if you go to this one, finality, there is nothing. So those are the 33 factions that I have. I don't have all characters unlocked. I will see if I can do some research. If you maybe have any characters that I don't have, or you have all of them, just having like a list would be nice. So I could also like read the texts, because I'm not sure if it allows me to read anything. Let me quickly check. Yeah, so I'll quickly read these character descriptions as well. It seems like I'm lucky and that I can actually click on it, and it will give you a small explanation of who the characters are as well. Since, like me, most people probably don't have all the characters. Another thing I noticed is that the terms, there's actually like kind of information about regions and characters and people as well in the terms list, so I will definitely be reading those as well. And I also found that in this universe, you can also unlock information on different things. For example, the swarm disaster that I was talking about, you can kind of find texts that I haven't unlocked yet, or like, what's it called? This. With text and things like that. I will definitely read these out then, but for now I am going to try and unlock as many of these as I can as well, so I can actually make a proper video on these for you guys. There's also an index here. Sadly, these texts for this are, you know, I can read them if you guys want to. If that's the case, I can click on all of them and read all of these texts, but I don't know if you guys would like that, so if you do, please leave me a message or a comment if you want me to, and I will do everything that I've unlocked for you guys and try and get as many more as possible. So I hope you like this so far. I hope you like the coming videos as well. Be sure to leave me a comment if you have any ideas or anything that you could help me with as well, or things that you would prefer that I would also read, and where to find it if I haven't found it yet myself. Thank you in advance, and I hope you guys have a nice day.